Hi, everyone, and welcome to Roast the Post, the story behind the bullet points. I'm Jennifer Houle, and after years in the HR and people and culture trenches, I've seen more job postings than any reasonable human should. And let me tell you, those things always tell a bigger story than the words on the page. Each week, Paul and I take a real job posting and pull it apart to figure out what it reveals about the organization behind it, the assumptions, the power dynamics, the unrealistic expectations, and occasionally the rare gem that shows off an org that actually knows what it wants. If you're a job seeker, we'll help you decode what the role actually demands and how to read between the lines before you waste your time and invest too many feels. And if you're one of the job seekers, the folks writing these postings, this is your chance to understand how they land, why candidates roll their eyes, and how to stop setting your own recruitment efforts on fire. One of us brings a job post the other hasn't seen yet. We break it down section by section, and then we each score it from our own unique perspectives. No consensus, no choreography, just two different professional lenses on the same issue. So let's get into it. Okay, so this week it was my turn to find a job posting to share with you so we could roast it. And I want to share a little bit my thought process, what I was looking for. I was specifically looking for a job posting for an office manager or an executive assistant type role. The reason why I was doing this was because I feel like these are the most underappreciated roles out there, right? Like you are going to do all of the work. It's going to be thankless. It's exhausting. So I wanted to see what job postings were out there for those types of roles. There's tons there. You're always going to find lots of administrative type, lower barrier to entry roles out there. What caught my eye about the one that we're going to be talking about is what the company itself does. I'm always drawn to, especially like now that it's later in life, later in my career, it's important to me to work for organizations that are maybe mission driven, social impact. They're working on doing good in the world, and or maybe just doing something super cool, interesting, something different. And so that's what stood out for me when I was researching which post to roast this week. Yeah.
I love it. I always find administrative roles particularly interesting. When you look at the function of an organization and like the different people in it and how they're kind of operating inside like the total system, like the system theory part of it. Admin roles are really fascinating to look at because a good administrative resource, whether it's kind of an office level manager type person or an administrative resource in a business unit, they are a lot of the time when they're good, the unsung hero. They kind of make things just work really well, and nobody sees it. Nobody knows why. Like they're a little invisible. So I'm excited about this. Let's roast this post, yeah?
Let's do it. The company has an employee count of about 258 employees. The industry is travel arrangements. They're HQ'd in two locations, Seattle and Toronto, and this specific posting is for Toronto. This company was established in 1991, and what I've noticed about the job posting is that it has already been reposted. So at the time of this conversation, it's been reposted with over 100 applicants. You know how on LinkedIn it shows you how many people have applied, and I think once it gets to 100, it kind of stops giving you that number, which is AKA for you have no shot in hell for this job. Okay, so the title of this role is Executive Assistant and Office Manager. Let me tell you a little bit about the job. This company is the leading polar expedition travel company headquartered in Toronto, Canada. We operate cruises to Antarctica and Arctic regions, so Greenland, North Canada, a place I can't pronounce, on board of 3 modern polar expedition ships. I'm not going to name the ships. Since 1991, this company has been establishing a tradition of first in polar travel, as the first to transit the Northeast Passage with adventure travelers, the first to take travelers to the far side of Antarctica, and the first to circumnavigate the Antarctic continent with guests. This company is part of another company, the world's leading experiential travel business.
Hmm.
We are looking to hire an executive assistant and office manager to join our team! Exclamation point. Reporting to the president of this company, you'll provide executive level support to senior leaders while leading all aspects of day-to-day office operations, facilities, vendors, and health and safety protocols. This dynamic role is ideal for someone who thrives in a fast-paced environment, takes initiative, and enjoys leading a wide variety of responsibilities with strong attention to detail. And pause. Tell me what you think about the job section, please.
Okay, that's that's kind of neat. Like this is not an industry that I know a ton about, but it strikes me that it kind of fits that mold of kind of, you know, small office, a lot of people wearing a lot of different hats. You said that that it's a part of the world's leading travel experience company. So to me, that kind of smells like, oh, this company has been acquired at some point. Like they used to be a travel agency of some kind in some
Right.
bespoke space. They've been acquired by, I don't know, an Expedia or something like that. And that's just how they are doing it. I think that it sounds okay. I mean, to me, what we've talked about so far is it's kind of interesting that the job is branded executive assistant and office manager. So
Yeah.
that also suggests that it's a small organization. Like you're taking two standalone roles in a larger company and kind of like merging them together. That's not necessarily the worst thing in the world, but the thing to watch out would be for, or the thing to watch out for would be, okay, is this actually too much for one person to handle?
Yeah.
And are they going to get a little bit worn down and burned out? So if I were interviewing for this job, I think I'd be asking questions about daily activities. You know, what's it like in the office? How many people are there? What supports are available? That type of stuff. So far, it sounds reasonable. Doesn't sound like they've had a whole lot of success, though, if it's been reposted already.
Yeah, so I agree with you. And I think that roles like this, when it's an executive assistant, office manager type role, that's when you do see a lot of applicants because it's one of those roles where there's a lower barrier to entry, right? They're not asking for someone to have like a PhD in office management or anything like that. And so you're going to get a lot of applicants. And then it becomes overwhelming. So I don't know. I'm assuming they have a people department. I'm not sure, but it could be just that they kind of had so many applicants the first time they posted that they got buried a little bit, and then they're reposting it to see like maybe the people who are really interested will apply again, things like that. That seems to happen. For me, what I noticed is that it sounds really exciting, right? Like the concept of this exciting travel is really cool. Um, so maybe interesting work. It names the reporting structure right off the bat. So reporting to the
Mhm.
president of the company. We're seeing the language again, dynamic role, fast-paced environment, takes initiative. We've talked about this before, but those are things that tell you a lot about what working there is going to be like. Meaning, yeah, you have to be ready to pivot. You have to be ready for frequent changes. My concern, and you voiced it, is this two roles in one?
Mhm.
Executive assistant and office manager. That's a lot of work, and we're going to go into a little bit more of what that could look like within the job descriptions, plural, because there's two. But first, let's go into the next part, which they go right into what we'll offer. So what we'll offer is competitive base salary plus bonus, health benefits, 10 days of vacation, plus you get your birthday off, flexible hybrid working, travel discounts. I'm going to stop there because the next section goes into the responsibilities. So,
Mm.
any initial thoughts on what it is that this company is offering?
Yeah, this I think that this reinforces that it's a relatively small company, and they're probably not turning over a crazy amount of revenue every year. 2 weeks vacation, I don't know. That's it's not crazy. It's pretty standard, especially for entry level jobs. Like 2 weeks off with pay, whatever, it's fine. Um, but more is nice. Like I feel like 2 weeks is kind of just the baseline, and so to say that that's kind of a benefit, like I don't know, it's not really a benefit to write home about, right? Like that's not a lot of time off.
Yeah.
The taking your birthday off, that is nice. And that is kind of an easy way for smaller businesses, I think, to recognize folks giving their birthday off. Me personally, especially when I was younger, I would kind of rather have the day after my birthday off. But to each their own.
Why is that?
Well, I like to celebrate things. I am one of those
Absolutely.
people.
Yeah.
Travel discounts, that could potentially be a big one. I mean, if we're like, it depends on what type of discount we're talking about. Like, are we talking about a discount on packages that they sell? I would assume yes, because they can fund that out of their margin a little bit better. But is it also, discounts on flights? Is it discounts on like hotel through a partner company or something? If it's discounts on flights, that'd be dope. That'd be a really sweet benefit. If it's discounts on a 3 week package that you can't take because you only have 2 weeks vacation, maybe not so great.
Right, right. I agree with you. Travel discounts is exciting. Like to me, if you want to work for this company, if you're into this kind of thing, but like you said, if it's a discount on a polar expedition trip, uh, how many people are going to take advantage of that? Um, 10 days I like just detest. Like 10 days is, like you said, standard. I feel like we need to do better. It's not a lot of time off. This to me reads very much, and we'll get into it later, as a dual role. You're taking on two
Mm.
fully fleshed out roles. You're going to need more than 10 days of vacation. Even if it is, standard, what I would like to see in job posting is something that kind of explains a little bit more, like 10 days vacation to start, right? Because then that tells me
Yeah.
there's an opportunity to get more down the road. I know that there are legal requirements for that, like based on tenure, but at the end of the day, I would like to know that there's more to it, that there's an opportunity, a potential to have more vacation days. Birthday off, I'm like, I'm not 8. That doesn't excite me. I don't care. I don't care. If I want my birthday off, I'll take my birthday off, right? But I get it. I get it. Lots of companies, like now that I've been researching job postings, this is kind of a thing for companies, saying that you get your
Mm.
birthday off. Um, and I do like that it says that there's a bonus. So to me, that's cool. Any job that offers a bonus, I really like that. I like that they're upfront about it. One flag for me was flexible hybrid working. I would just need more details. If this is an executive assistant office manager role, I don't believe that it can possibly be a flexible hybrid working role. Um, but I don't know what they mean by that. So definitely need more information there.
Another thing that comes to mind with me right now is they didn't mention anything. Maybe they mention it later, but in that section, they didn't mention anything about sick days. So if you are taking your sick days out of your 2 weeks vacation, that's not great.
Yeah.
You're probably, even if you're in good health, you're probably going to burn through 1 week over the course of a year just through sick days. If you're prone to kind of getting sick during this time of year,
Yeah.
then maybe you're going to burn through both. So
Yeah.
like, what vacation? That might really suck.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if you have kids alone, that you're going to be sick throughout the year. There are some like legal requirements for sick days. I can't remember off the top of my head for Toronto because I'm a terrible HR person, but there would be a legal requirement. It's just not listed what it is. So either they just
Mm.
left it off or it's nothing wild or over the top, right? And so they're like, whatever, we just give the basic amount. We're not going to say that. I don't know. But
And
good.
that's interesting too, because you think about, I mean, you mentioned the kids, right? Like being a caregiver for young children. Um, this type of role, not to be a sexist pig or anything, but this type of role is typically more taken up by women.
Yeah.
So if you're a woman, you're in this role, you have small children, the role is kind of structured in such a way that it's meant for women, but without the support of like a sick day policy that's a little bit more generous, you're going to reduce the amount of people who can actually take that role, right? Like I can imagine a mom, especially a new mom, being like, "Oh, geez, yeah, I've got this 18-month old, and this doesn't say anything about sick days and 2 weeks of vacation. Like, it's going to
Yeah.
get weird with my kid."
You're so right. And like I hate the fact that these roles are more designed to be for women, will receive more female applicants. I've done this. I've been in the biz for a really long time and I can attest to that. Like rarely, if ever, will you see men applying for a role like this. And so, yeah, it's such a good point. You need to take into consideration, not that I think that women should be the primary caregivers or the default parents at home, but let's be
Mhm.
realistic about what real life is like. They should be designing it to support that, absolutely. And I also think that like if you have other, like we just talked about, sick days aren't listed. um if they do offer sick days, it should be listed. Any kind of perk or benefit that you offer, anything in your job posting should be listed. I think it's such a missed opportunity to not mention it. So yeah, the what will offer, just a few bullet points. It's not as alluring as it could be, right? So missed chance there.
So maybe this job posting was written by an outgoing office manager.
Yeah, maybe, maybe that's true. That's true. You know what? You make such a good point right there too, because what I would love to see in job postings is right off the bat, is this a replacement role? Is this an additional role? Like we've
Mm.
talked about this before, but yeah, a little bit more details about what you're walking into. And sure, you can talk about that in the interview, in the screening. As a candidate, you should be asking those types of questions. But the more information you can give, the better for people. I think anything to help people inform what it is that they're walking into, and also help them, like, in their application process. Say they are requesting a cover letter, then you can say, like, I see that this is a replacement role, and here's how I would approach that without overriding existing processes that someone created, right? Like, just kind of put your twist on that and explain how you would approach things if it's a net new role or if it's a replacement role or things like that. I think it's a good way to stand out as a candidate.
It's a good point, because you think about this role too. It's executive assistant plus office manager. We can tell that that's one role, one person, just from the way that it's kind of smushed together, and the other assumptions, but educated ones that we're making about this so far. But you could see an EA being, not the only EA in an org. So what if this particular one is an EA plus office manager, but there are a couple of other EAs for senior leadership, like maybe the president and CEO has their own EA,
This
right?
is
So this person's going to be the
Yeah.
EA for maybe a couple senior leaders, but not dedicated to just like the big honcho.
Well, let's talk about that now that you mentioned
Okay,
that.
I smell a segue.
Yeah, a great segue. Okay, so let's go into what you'll do. And we're going to start because they break it down by the two roles. The first is executive assistant, and then all of the bullet points. So that's the heading. So what you'll do, executive assistant. And I'm going to stop halfway through, I think, because it's quite lengthy. Provide comprehensive calendar management and administrative support, primarily to the president of this company and to 5 other executives. 5. We need to screenshot your face right now. Next bullet point, coordinate the general business calendar for the president using a proactive planning approach to recurring meetings and meetings that support business activities throughout the year. Coordinate schedules, travel plans, and meeting logistics, including pre and post meeting follow-ups and material preparation for the executive. Maintain the executive planner tool and travel worksheets. Liaise with executives to gather travel information and adjust plans as needed. Handle executive expenses and credit card reconciliations through whatever software they're using. Assist in preparing PowerPoint. We know you love PowerPoint presentations and agendas for leadership meetings. Example, senior leadership team, business review meeting, town hall. I'm actually just going to go through it, just a couple more. Act as a liaison with other executive assistants, staff, and external contacts for document sharing, inquiries, and scheduling. Handle DocuSign administration and assist with internal application forms and purchase approvals. Provide logistical and communication support for internal initiatives, including engagement awards, annual events, and social outings. Other ad hoc duties as required by the business. So that's it for just the executive assistant responsibilities. Let's pause there before we get into the office management responsibilities. Thoughts?
So this poor person's gonna be a fucking cat herder.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
Bless the person taking this role.
Yeah, and I mean, in my brain right now, like I can't help but kind of conjure up a stereotypical leadership team of a bunch of like old white dudes who don't know how to use technology. It drives me bananas when even senior leaders want someone to manage their calendar for them. That drives me nuts. And I get that there are some leaders in some organizations that, it's a terrible use of your time because you're at such a large organization and your time generates so much value that it makes absolutely no sense for you to manage your own calendar, the half hour a day or whatever it would take you. I get that. But for medium-sized enterprises, if you've got somebody who's not managing their own calendar, that it drives me bananas. It basically says you're not capable of managing your own time yourself. And
absolutely. I've seen it. And it's just it's so hard to just be like, what is wrong with you? Or like, put your grown-up pants on and do it yourself. I'm at an org currently where we don't have EAs. The senior leadership team does all of their own calendar management, and they are busy people. But like, it's not. It shouldn't be as difficult as some people make it out to be. But yeah, that's another thing. That's agreed. It's one of those things where I'm like, who do you think you are? Like, what kind of company do you actually think you're working in? I know someone who's in a company of 12 and the leadership team has an EA, and I don't get it. Frankly, I don't even think they're that busy. So I don't know.
There's definitely a case for, even in smaller companies, there's a case for having an executive chief of staff or an operational support person who's kind of like an EA, but the calendar managing thing is particularly stupid. I think that we've unlocked a pet peeve that I didn't really know that I had strong feelings about, and here we are. Another thing that stood out for me with this was expense management. So that also says that the ELT that you're managing calendars for, they're going to walk by your desk, and I don't know, like once a day, once a week, once a month, and drop paper receipts on you and be like, "Thanks, can you deal with this, dear? That would be wonderful."
And just for clarification for any listeners, ELT, you mean executive leadership?
Yeah, executive leadership team.
Got it.
Yeah. The C-suite people, effectively, like company leadership. That I'm not a huge fan of, but I have a little bit more patience for that than managing the calendar, because managing your own calendar, like, it has a lot of kind of direct correlation to your daily activities, and it forces you to prepare for the things that are in your calendar when you manage it.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
That's why I don't outsource my own calendar or have a VA. I do all of that stuff myself, because forces me to have my shit together.
That's a really good point. But you know what? I have a friend who is essentially an EA to a CEO, and she does say that like his calendar management, because the people he is meeting with also have really busy schedules, that it is like EA on EA trying to schedule these things. And she said it is a beast, like in and of itself. And so for her, she doesn't mind because she can do it more efficiently than he can. So again, like, yes, we're saying this. It's one of those things that
Yeah.
for other people maybe doing the work are like, no, 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 I don't want that leader person doing their own calendar. That's just a nightmare. I'll just do it myself. But that's how we get ourselves into these messes with incompetent leadership. But
Yeah.
what
And
else?
at the end of the day, if the relationship between those two people is respectful,
Yeah.
and there's a really good reason for the work being done, whatever.
Yeah.
That's a part of being in a business, right? Building a business, like you build it the way that makes sense for you, and you maximize your
Yeah.
time, your efficiency, and your profit margins. That's the whole point. So yeah, don't don't take people at home. Don't take my aversion to calendar
Yeah.
management as like
Not a hill
saying
either of
that,
us. Yeah. Not a hill either of us are going to die on, but we clearly don't care for it.
let's carry on. So that, I mean, the rest of that stuff sounded pretty, it sounded pretty standard. As personal assistants, whether they're, you know, for business leaders or celebrities or whatever, they tend to be busy all the time and kind of available at the drop of a hat. That's just the nature of the gig. You can only hope that you're paid accordingly, but I'm sure we'll get to that part too.
Well, this is an interesting part too, and this goes back to the vacation time, right? 10 days of vacation. Again, I know people who are EAs and they are taking calls and rescheduling things, taking care of business evenings, weekends while they're on vacation too. So even with
Mhm.
10 days of vacation, you're not really getting a vacation if you're an EA to the president of a company, let alone five other executives. So that was the part that stood out to me, like six executives, and then it says you're going to be liaison with other executive assistants. Like, does everyone at this company just have a fucking, can I say that, sorry, executive assistant? like like everyone just gets you, is that just the swag you get when you join the team? You get an EA? That seems like a lot. We said this is a company of like 258 people. Like, that's, and how many of execs are those EAs, you know, supporting too? It's wild to me. So already to me, that like we could have just ended it there and say this is the EA job, you've got a lot on your hands, good luck out there. But that's not it, there's more.
Mhm.
So should we get into that?
Yeah, let's roast this post.
Do it. Office management. So now we're on what you'll be doing part two, office management. So there's health and safety, joint health and safety committee ownership, manage, arrange inspections, maintain documentation, update SharePoint pages, and chair quarterly joint health and safety committee meetings. Respond to office related inquiries like parking, access cards, general questions, and maintain up-to-date records. Provide administrative support for lunch orders, meeting setup, and special events, example, holiday party, visitors. Be present for visitor meetings and larger events. Be responsible for the daily operations of the Toronto office, ensuring a clean, stocked, and well-functioning workspace. Handle office supplies, grocery and coffee orders, restock items, clean out fridge, and coordinate general kitchen and office tidiness. Coordinate with vendors for ad hoc purchases like equipment, furniture, or gifts. Liaise with cleaners, repair vendors, and building contacts to arrange services and ensure maintenance is completed. Coordinate parking, garage access, and roster updates. Liaise with building management and payroll for related deductions and updates. Handle office access and intercom system, activate, deactivate building security cards, and track usage. Support onboarding by ensuring new hires are added to relevant systems and receive accurate welcome information. That's it.
Really? There isn't 6 more pages?
There is an act as surrogate mother for all of our executives, carry their children, birth their children. No, I mean, it's an office management role, right? There
Yeah.
are things, but I'd love to hear your thoughts first.
Yeah, this all of that stuff is, it's pretty standard stuff for
Yeah.
an office manager. There's nothing in there that's absolutely crazy. The one kind of question I do have though is like, are they required to bring their own mop, or is that provided by the company?
Ooh,
Uh,
that is a roast. You're roasting the post.
yeah, I feel like this one is like bringing up some latent feelings that
Yeah.
that I need to like process and deal with or something. But it really there's nothing that's unusual for an office manager kind of job in there. It's maybe I just don't like traditional office manager like role structures and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cleaning of the fridge, that just seems kind of, I don't know, like clean out the fridge. Sure, somebody's got to do it, but to make it a part of somebody's like formal office like role description or whatever, like most organizations that I've worked in, it's kind of been a like a rotating
Yeah.
unofficial chore. Like, you've got 30 people in the office, small office or whatever. Like each week, one person is responsible for restocking the stuff, cleaning out the fridge at the end of the week, like blah 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 blah. Um, Making it the responsibility of one person who is already like an office manager feels, maybe this is unfair, but it feels a little bit icky because it's reinforcing gender stereotypes unnecessarily, assuming that it's a woman who they want and a woman who's going to get the role.
Yeah.
It feels a little ick.
Yeah.
I don't dig that so much. Um, be present and basically like be a chaperone and a host during events and whatnot. That also feels a little bit icky. I I really hesitate to say this, but it, it just the way that this thing is written and structured and feels is it's like they want a housewife slash secretary from the 1970s
Yeah.
to join their team.
A step
And
wife, madman type.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the vibes that this whole thing is
Yeah.
giving me. So I, as a candidate, like I'd be really asking questions to try and dig into that culture, try and figure out what it's like, try and figure out what the dynamics are going to be like with the person that you're the EA for, and with the president who's your boss, and with the other execs. Like
Yeah.
there could be a little bit of risk of this being a not great place for a person to be. Like nobody really wants to be that person who is just kind of like told to go do all of the menial shit that they don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
um, that's not cool. Payroll runs kind of interested me a little bit. This is a company that has over 250 employees.
Yeah.
They should have some finance people who should be doing payroll. Like the office manager in a company this size, they should not be doing payroll. Unless I've misinterpreted that and it's really like payroll support of some kind. But like this person shouldn't be touching payroll. It's a bad idea. Health and safety, also a bad idea. Health and safety is very highly regulated in
Yeah.
Canada. Your responsibilities as an employer are no laughing matter, even if it's just for an office job. So having the office manager, and maybe we'll get into the required educational stuff, and it'll say like, oh, you must have completed health and safety training or something, in which case ignore the comment I'm about to make. But an office manager doesn't have the training to manage an H&S committee, and they shouldn't be. You're leaving yourself open to bad stuff, both from the provincial regulator and from an employee who like hurts themselves. So that kind of sets off big warning bells for me.
Yeah.
I think that's all my comments.
Okay. Okay. No, those are all great, valid comments. We share a lot of similar thoughts. I have a lot to say. Once upon a time, I was an office manager. And so, yeah, again, I look at this and I'm like, meh, it's pretty typical for office manager job with some exceptions. It's tying it into the other list we just shared with even more bullet points with the executive assistant. And so I go back to, it says flexible hybrid working hours. And the little note I made for myself was like flexible hybrid with these responsibilities. How?
Mhm.
It's not even possible. So why even say it? Because it's not going to be true. One of the things I noticed when it said be present for visitor meetings and larger events, yes, visitor meetings, greeting people who are coming in, sure. Larger events. Let's talk about that a little bit. In what world do you need your office manager? In what capacity do you need your office manager to attend a large event? It's going to be to clean up. It's going to be in a gopher capacity, right? So already looking at that, it's not like you're going to be adding any kind of like strategic value or anything like that. Like you were there, you have to be present because they need someone to take care of all of the shit. And so like that just sucks. That just sucks, right? And what happens if you're at this large event and one of your 6 executives that you're assisting has some kind of emergency, but then also the garbage cans need to be emptied, or like, it's way too much. Some of the other things like lunch orders, meetings, whatever, I don't care for any of that. That's why I'm not an office manager anymore. Yeah, I don't like the fridge thing. Most companies I've worked at do a rotation, like you mentioned. So really this person, if they know what they're doing, if they're an experienced or office manager, they're not necessarily having to do any of that stuff. They're going to do a rotation. But what it is it's hurting even more cats, right? So they're already hurting cats with the executives. Now they have to do it with all of their office colleagues and remind them like, oh, it's your turn to empty the dishwasher, like that kind of stuff. So yeah, and you're doing the same with the health and safety committee. You're doing the same with the vendors. It's your liaison. You're a liaison with the cleaners, building contacts. It's just a lot. Like to me, this is its own job. You mentioned the payroll. I don't even know. I'm confused. It did say, you were right. It says payroll for related deductions, coordinate payroll for related deductions and updates. Maybe if there's like any kind of like variance or something different for that payroll cycle, but why would it be this person? That's odd to me. Yeah, so it's a lot. I don't like it. Don't care for it. I'm not applying. Spoiler alert.
Me neither.
Right? So let's talk about what you'll bring. Like you talked about, what is the experience? What are the requirements? What you'll bring: experience as an executive assistant or similar high-level administrative support role, proven track record to handle one-off and time-sensitive matters with a high degree of proactivity, discretion, and good judgment, experience handling complex calendars and coordinating meetings across multiple time zones, proactive nature, interest in understanding the business's cycle of events and how to best support them, strong communication skills with the ability to correspond professionally on behalf of senior executives with internal teams, external collaborators, and partners, tech savvy and comfortable navigating various systems and tools, example, Microsoft Office Suite, expense and travel platforms. Shudder. Ability to maintain strict confidentiality and handle sensitive information with integrity, highly organized, meticulous, and able to thrive in a fast-paced, ever-changing environment. Let's stop there.
You must be tech savvy enough to be able to operate MS Office.
I also hate like the heebie-jeebies, tech savvy or like something savvy. I don't know why, but that word to me just like icks me out.
Yeah, it's not a phrase that anyone like of our generation will ever use, right? So to me, that kind of further suggests that this is an organization where the ELT, the executive leadership team, is a little bit up there and don't really care to like learn these things, which fair. You know, if you're into your 50s, 60s, and you've gone your entire career without like making a PowerPoint deck, yeah, don't learn now. Like you got better things to do with your time. Totally get that. Totally agree with it. But it is kind of weird to go out and be like, you must be tech savvy to join this organization. Like, that's not tech savvy. Like everybody can do that. It's not special. I'm pretty sure everyone has used MS Office at some point. Like it's weird. The word discretion really sticks out to me. Handle things with discretion. I forget exactly how it was phrased, but like it really that was kind of the gist of it. Like handle situations with discretion. Okay, fine. Um, that makes me kind of like think, all right, do these ELTs get like drunk in the office or something and misbehave, and you need to clean up their messes for them? Like, is this really 1970s ad agency Madison Avenue stuff? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah.
Um, the fact that it was called out means that there have been issues before that go above and beyond that sense of professionalism and professional discretion that's already kind of normal. Like everybody goes to work and knows you don't take sensitive information and just walk down the street and blab it to everybody in sight. Like you don't talk about like trade secrets at the coffee shop. You know that. So there's been some stuff that's gone down that these people are like, well, you must be able to act with discretion because everybody before you has not. And let's not forget that this is a flippin' travel agency. They are not developing like the codes for the nuclear weapons or whatever. There's nothing super special about travel agencies.
Yeah.
What could you possibly have that is such a trade secret that it requires extraordinary discretion? This is weird to me.
Yeah.
It's a little bit weird. But I also think that the person who wrote this post isn't someone who thinks about stuff like this. So maybe it's just like a throwaway word that they put out there because I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Because this person is going to see and hear things. They're going to come in during meetings to bring people their lunch orders and things like that. So yeah, I totally get why it's mentioned a few times in different ways. Like discretion is mentioned, strict confidentiality, handle sensitive information with integrity. So yeah, again, like it's going to come up. Very curious what kind of history they have of, I don't know, iffy situations. It reads to me very much like we've both mentioned it several times, but like, Susan, grab me my afternoon scotch and get Mr. Smith on the phone, you know? And they'll
That's
slap
the
the ass
vibe.
out.
That's the vibe. That's the vibe that I'm picking up from this. And yeah, like I didn't want to say that I'm going to slap your ass on the way by the desk thing, but that's totally what I was thinking of. Like,
Same,
okay.
same. And I went to their website and it looks like such a cool and exciting organization, but it really goes to
Mm,
show how out of touch some people can be. And I would be curious to see what the leadership team looks like you mentioned, because
mhm,
um, even though it seems like kind of cool and exciting what they're doing, it could be that they're just really stuck in old ways, or they have no sense of like how much they're asking someone to do. Like those two job descriptions, those are two separate jobs. Like,
mhm.
don't be so cheap. Hire two people and get really good results. Have a like kick-ass office manager, an amazing EA, and pay them both what they're worth, and they will crush it. But one person doing all of this, like, how do you even, this will become your entire life. Like, this is all you're going to be doing is this work. So there's one more section here that I'm just going to share with you. At the very end, it
Yeah.
says, we believe people perform best when they can be their true selves, and diverse teams drive better results. We are committed to fostering a diverse, equitable, and inclusive environment where everyone can succeed. The parent company ensures an inclusive workplace for all. If you need accommodations during the recruitment process, please inform us here at blah, blah, blah.com. End. That's it. That's all we got.
Okay. Okay. So to me, that means that the parent company has a compliance policy and stuff that they've developed for like their organization, and because they've acquired this other organization, they're saying you must attach this policy to or statement to all of your job postings, and you must post this on your website. I don't think, based on the rest of what was in that job posting, that there's really any organizational buy-in to any of that. I suspect that it's like some lip service. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being a bit of a jerk. Who knows? But it doesn't strike me as something that is a thing. Accommodations, that's good.
Yeah.
Like even where there are no legal requirements to offer accommodations for an interview, which is thankfully like increasingly rare, it's a good idea to just say that you're willing to make accommodations, right?
Yeah.
Like if you really do believe in inclusivity, then you should be able to, or you should be able and willing to adapt to the people who are like hoping to work for your organization. And it doesn't mean that you that you have to have every process buttoned down for like the extremes, but even simple things like just being open and willing to work with the other person to
Yeah.
make them comfortable goes a long way. Goes a really
Absolutely.
long way.
One of the things that I noticed too, because yeah, usually there is, we love an accommodation, as long as they mean it, absolutely. But one thing I noticed in the qualifications or requirements, aka what you'll bring, they don't mention anywhere any kind of like having to drive, having to lift heavy things, having to stand for long periods of time. And this role to me reads all of those things, right? Like
Yeah.
better to me to make that explicit in the job posting so that those folks who maybe don't meet those requirements don't waste their time or your time, because this is going to be a physically demanding job. I see it as driving out to events, going to pick up like, oh shit, the caterers forgot to bring like 15
Yeah.
plates, going out to go and like pick them up. Like it's going to be that kind of thing. Picking up dry cleaning because it's the 1960s, and yeah, I it's missing some pieces. And so here's an important thing. The salary is not listed. Again, Ontario,
Ooh.
it's not yet a requirement, but I mean, do better, post them. So while the salary isn't posted, I went to their website and they have another job posting listed on their careers page for a digital product manager, and it lists a salary range. And the
Interesting.
salary range for that is between 80 to 100,000 plus bonus. So why is the salary range listed for that role, but not this one?
This one.
Right?
That's really interesting. So they also didn't list in the requirements an educational requirement,
Yeah.
unless yeah, okay. So they didn't list that. They didn't list
Yeah.
one of those. They didn't list number of years of experience
Yeah.
in a similar role. They just said, be a be an assistant, like
Experience. Yeah.
sort of thing. Yeah. So that suggests to me that they're looking for someone who is quite early on in their career. Like
Sure.
they're young, they're just entering the workforce, maybe they're re-entering the workforce. Like they don't have a lot of experience behind them. This is a lot to put on a person who doesn't have a ton of experience.
Yeah.
It is also, yeah, the lack of salary thing when they post it for another job is weird. That suggests to me that this is a very, very lowball offer kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm really disappointed that they didn't list a salary because I already had a number in my head. I was like,
Okay, well, let's hear
I
it.
think, I, in my brain, I was like, all right, I think they're going to offer this, and I think it should be that.
Yes. So share that with me. And before you do that, actually, I agree. I think that I think not listing the salary is by design. Like it's
Yeah.
not a oops, I forgot to post the salary. Like they're doing it on purpose because I think that will just be decided in the moment based on interest, based on, whatever reasons. But I don't like it at all. I think it's so unfair. And again, like when we talk about like gender coded job postings, and this one very much is towards women, female identifying individuals, that's when they don't post a salary. Like it really sucks. It feels completely unfair. It doesn't feel unfair. It is unfair.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Okay. So now let me know what your thoughts are salary wise.
Yeah, the digital product manager salary range, just based on the title alone, like that's not bad. That's pretty standard, especially if it's in Toronto. So that actually kind of surprised me a little bit. I thought that they would lowball that a little bit, but it's also really a really competitive labor market for technical people.
Right.
I think that this company has in their mind that this role is like 45.5, give or take. I think that that's what they would roll out for an offer.
Wow.
Uh, in yeah, I don't feel great about this company based on the job post.
Right.
To put it that way.
Yeah.
I think that this job is worth far more in the market. And I kind of agree with you that it should be two jobs unless the role was structured insignificantly differently,
Yeah.
or there were other people that were kind of working in a facilities support group. If this person is doing everything that's listed by themselves with no support, they don't have a chance in hell. Like they're gonna burn out
Yeah.
pretty quick, probably within 6 months.
Yeah.
They'll be gone.
Yeah.
They'll be like, screw you guys, I'm out.
Exactly.
Uh,
Yeah.
if this job was valued fairly, I would put it around 85,
Right. Yeah.
give or take. Because you think about what they're doing. They've talked about confidentiality and discretion. That means that the role intersects with important information. Okay, great. That's one thing. You also are the EA for presumably the president. I think it said that they reported to the president. I'm just
Yes.
assuming that that means they're also the EA for the president
Yeah.
and 5 other senior leaders. So you're the EA for 6 people whose combined salary is over 1 million easily,
Right.
like
Yeah.
probably closer to 1.5.
Yeah.
So you're basically making sure that they can do their job by hurting them. You need to be paid accordingly. Like if you're an EA for, I don't know, a director or a line manager, different.
Yeah.
But this is executive assistant, like to the senior leadership team. So the
Yeah.
price goes up because you
Absolutely.
need people who are capable in that kind of role. So I value this like 85, but I doubt very much that's what they're offering.
Likewise, I put that I thought it should be like a 75 to 95 base. Again, I've worked with a lot of EAs. Good EAs make really good money because they're
Mhm.
really good at what they do. These are challenging jobs and challenging personalities as well. And so, yeah, a good EA is worth their weight in gold. So 75 to 95, I put signals that it's not going to be that range are to me, stinginess with a vacation, understaffing by combining two clearly separate roles into one, lots of applicants, so they can price it much lower and still get applicants. So I think I was a bit more generous. I was like maybe 60 to 65. But you're probably closer. It's in Toronto, so that's kind of why I put it up
That's it.
a little bit
Yeah.
more. And I also did a quick search on Glassdoor to look at their rating, and it's like a 3.8.
Mm.
Not great.
Yeah.
So I think we're kind of right on the button here with this. Yeah, one of the things that I would have liked to have seen too is something like, because we understand that this is a dual scope role, we will be providing like the tools, the support, the structure required for success. But there's no kind of acknowledgement about that whatsoever, right? It's just like, it kind of feels like, well, you're lucky if you get this role, and we'll give you a discount on expeditions you'll never be able to afford to go on or take time to go on. So, what is your final rating out of 10 for this?
Hoy. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot that excites me about this. If I was a lawyer, I'd be super excited about this. I'm going to bill some hours to this person in about 6 months. Can you
Oh
give me
yeah.
their info? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think I would rate this job posting like a 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
And that is largely because of the operational kind of things about the role and the org structure and everything. Like this role, it just does not work. It's not going to go well. Like the organization is going to be continuously searching for someone to do this role, and it's like, no, you guys really need to change the role. So yeah,
Yeah.
3 out of 10.
Yeah, yeah. And I do wonder, like we talked about, is this a replacement role? Was it two roles and they decided to kind of save some money and combine it, like all sorts of things. Yeah, I originally was thinking like 4 out of 10 because like what the company does reads is exciting to me. And I am kind of drawn to the mission and the purpose of the organization when I'm looking at jobs. But you know what? Nah, 3 out of 10. They're gonna like if we see this role again in a couple of months, we need to talk about it because yeah, I don't foresee things going well. And bless this person. And like we always say, like these conversations are from a place of privilege. Like people, if you need a job, you
Hmm.
need a job, apply for it, go for it. But it's about really knowing what you're walking into and preparing, like protecting yourself, preparing your nervous system, and understanding that you like go eyes wide open. That's it. Just go into it eyes wide open because this does not sound pleasant at all.
Yeah, you're right. There are tons of folks who they're between a rock and a hard place, and
Yeah.
they need a job.
Yeah.
Absolutely, like do that. But like Jen said, go into it knowing what you're getting yourself into. Ask the questions that kind of tease out like, is this a place where you could stay, or is this a place where you could hang out for a year while you continue to look for something else that's better for you?
Yeah.
Um, as like a business owner, entrepreneur, like person who's been on the other side of it, I hate that I just said that because as a business owner, you never want people to leave, even when you are like giving them the shaft and underpaying them and whatever.
Yeah.
But the social contract between employers and employees that used to mean loyalty from employees meant something has completely eroded.
Yeah.
It's been gone for years. So folks who are looking for a job, like, don't feel bad about doing what you need to do to like keep yourself fed and clothed and housed, and don't feel bad for a lack of loyalty if you keep looking after taking an offer. If someone's
Absolutely.
not going to extend to you respect and loyalty and honesty, why do they deserve it from you?
Absolutely. I agree. I think that, it doesn't have to be your next job doesn't have to be your forever home.
Mhm.
Um, it can be a stepping stone to the next place. And I 100% agree. Like, you don't owe anything to anyone. You could take this shitty job and you could stay for a month and then leave and go to your next job, and you don't owe them anything more than that. So, yeah, you need to take care of yourself, do what's best for you. Yeah, it's tough out there.
And this is why we are not putting the names of any companies in our show episodes, because they'd be like, let's write them a lawyer letter.
I know, even though I feel like we drop enough breadcrumbs, maybe we need to do a little bit better there, but we'll see. We'll see what comes out of this.
Thanks for hanging out with us on Roast the Post, the story behind the bullet points. If today's teardown helped you see a role more clearly, or helped you understand why some postings feel like structural puzzles waiting to happen, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of our sass. Hit subscribe on YouTube or follow us on your favorite podcast app so the next episode finds you automatically. And if you've got a job posting you want us to analyze, question, critique, or gently dismantle, send it in. Listener submissions make this show better, and sometimes they're the best material we get. Tap the link in the show notes for more. We'll see you next time with another roasted post to lay out on the dinner table.